Hello guys, in this video we'll be discussing the Wapiti Tribe story and the actual missions in our favorite Red Dead Redemption 2. Actually this is quite interesting, so I decided to make a separately new video on this topic. So the story of the Wapiti Tribe in Red Dead Redemption 2 is both fascinating and heartbreaking. Chief Rainsfall leads the Wapiti Native American tribe, which resides on the Wapiti Indian Reservation on the northern part of the game's world. Historically, European explorers like Christopher Columbus mistakenly referred to the indigenous people of the Americas as Indians because they thought they had reached Asia, known as Indies at that time. This term continued to be used despite its inaccuracy. By the late 19th century, when Red Dead Redemption 2 is set, Native Americans were still commonly called as Indians in everyday language and official documents. The game uses Wapiti Indian Reservation term to reflect this historical terminology. Reservations are lands set aside by the government for Native American tribes, often after displacing them from their original territories. Today, it's more accurate and respectful to refer to groups as Native Americans or indigenous people or by their specific tribal names. The gang first encounters the Wapiti tribe when relocating from Coulter to Horseshoe Overlook. One of the wagon wheels breaks down, and while Arthur, Hosea, and Charles are fixing it, they spot the Wapiti tribe, including Chief Rainsfall, his son Eagle Flies, and Peta, who is one of the tribe member, observing them from a distance. Hosea explains to Arthur and Charles that the Native Americans in the heartlands got a raw deal from the US government. He elaborates on how the government made promises and treaties with the tribe members but often broke them, facing the tribe off of their lands and taking advantage of their situation. This conversation highlights the unfair treatment of Native Americans during American expansion. Later in the game, Arthur is introduced to Chief Rainsfall and Eagle Flies in the Saint Denis by Evelyn Miller, a minor character from the Mayor's Party mission. During this meeting, Rainsfall describes the hardships and problems his tribe faces, including broken peace treaties and forced relocations imposed by the government. He explains that they cannot afford to go to war with the stronger government. Evelyn Miller reveals that there are reports of potential oil beneath the tribe's lands and asks Arthur to help steal them these exact reports. Although initially Arthur refuses, then he agrees after rainfall promises him a substantial reward. The chief then instructs Arthur to meet Eagle Flies at Citadel Rock near the oil fields to carry out the job. After meeting Chief Rainsfall and Evelyn Miller, Arthur goes to Citadel Rock to meet Eagle Flies. Eagle Flies instructs Arthur to retrieve files from a foreman named Danbury, who has reports from the Leland Oil Development Company. Danbury's office is above the refinery, and Eagle Flies asks Arthur to sneak in, take the files, and exit quickly while he waits outside. As often happens in RDR2, things don't go as planned. Guards spot Arthur as he's leaving through the window with the files. Meanwhile, Eagle Flies creates a diversion by blowing up an oil tank. This explosion helps Arthur escape the refinery with the files and rejoin Eagle Flies. After Arthur and Eagle Flies fight their way out of the refinery, Eagle Flies pays Arthur for his help and expresses hope that these stolen papers will assist them in lobbying the army. He believes that these documents could be crucial in addressing the issues facing the Wapiti tribe. Later in the game, Eagle Flies arrives at Beaver Hollow with Charles and asks Arthur to help because the army has taken the tribe's horses. Dutch, wanting to distract the army from the gang's activities, agrees to help, although Arthur and Charles suspect Dutch's true intentions, but they decide to join. The four of them quietly canoe to a ferry, sneak aboard, and knock out the guards. They drop the anchor and swim the horses back to the shore. After they return, Dutch tells Eagles Flies they need to discuss something and plans to head to the reservation. Dutch and Eagle Flies then plan to ambush an army patrol to tar and feather them. Eagle Flies, Peta, and other tribal members meet Dutch and Arthur to set up dynamite in the trees. When the patrol arrives, they detonate this dynamite and trap the soldiers. However, as always, things go wrong, and when more and more soldiers show up and attack them, Eagle Flies, Dutch, and Arthur manage to survive, but Peta gets injured. Eagle Flies tries to stop Peta but is captured and locked up in Fort Wallace. Later, Arthur meets Chief Rainsfall, who talks about his deep love for his son and the injustice of the government threatening to hang Eagle Flies for treason. Despite the government's own treacherous actions, Rainsfall is heartbroken and asks Arthur for help. Arthur promises to rescue Eagle Flies. Arthur and Charles then go on a mission to save Eagle Flies. They break into the fort, sneak into the prison, unlock Eagle Fly's cell, and carry him out. They fight their way past guards, blow a hole in the wall, and escape on horseback. They reach a river where Charles put Eagle Flies into a canoe. Arthur helps cover their escape while they float down the river. After they get away, Charles takes Eagle Flies back to his father. Later, Eagle Flies returns to Beaver Hollow with many young members of his tribe and asks the gang to help him attack the Heartland oil fields. Chief Rainsfall arrives and pleads with them not to attack the US Army, but Eagle Flies ignores his father's warning and leaves with his men. The gang follows and finds Eagle Flies fighting bravely in the middle of the oil fields. Arthur, Sadie, Charles, and a group of Indians rush to rescue Eagle Flies. After they reunite, Eagle Flies urges them to save every Indian they can. While most soldiers are defeated, Dutch and Arthur head into the warehouse to find state bonds. Just as they are about to leave, soldiers attack them. A pipe bursts, injuring Arthur, and Dutch abandons him despite Arthur's pleas for help. Eagle Flies suddenly appears and kills three soldiers. Colonel Favors arrives and fatally wounds Eagle Flies. Arthur retaliates by killing Favors and helps Eagle Flies outside the factory. Arthur then confronts Dutch for leaving him behind, but Dutch denies it. Arthur, Peta, and Charles then take the wounded Eagle Flies back to the Chief Rainsford reservation. Sadly, by that time, Eagle Flies dies in his father's arms shortly after. In the end, the attack on the oil refinery had unintended consequences. Instead of achieving his goals, Eagle Fly's actions led to the remaining Wapiti Indians being forced to flee to Canada to escape from the US Army. Before leaving, the tribe buried Eagle Fly's body near the reservation. Dutch's manipulation of Eagle Flies not only led to his death but also gave Arthur a new perspective on Dutch. Arthur was horrified by Dutch's action and saw Eagle Flies as another angry fool Dutch used. This realization strained Arthur's relationship with Dutch, making him feel exploited just like Eagle Flies. After the Wapiti fled to Canada, Chief Rainsfall briefly returned to their ancestral lands in 1907 to honor his son's memory. During an encounter with John Marston, Rainsfall reveals that he still mourns for his Eagle Flies after all his years. In the ending credits of the game, Rainsfall is shown standing on a mountain watching an eagle soar above him, which reminds him of his son.